Hey, this is Zekkaina, and I'll be reading an excerpt from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Novelization by R.A. Salvatore. Klaxons blared and myriad alarms rent the air all around the area, screaming loudly, drowning out the cries from the astonished onlookers and the wails of the injured. Typho's companion pilot raced past him, and the captain scrambled to regain his footing and follow. Across the way, Dolph was up and similarly running toward the fallen form of the senator. The female fighter pilot arrived first, dropping to one knee beside the fallen woman. She pulled the helmet from her head and quickly shook her brown tresses free. "Senator!" Typho yelled. It was indeed Padme Amidala kneeling beside the dying woman, her decoy. "Come, the danger has not passed!" But Padme waved the captain back furiously, then bent low to her fallen friend. "Corday," she said quietly, her voice breaking. Corday was one of her beloved bodyguards, a woman who had been with her, serving Naboo for many years. Padme gathered Corday up in her arms, hugging her gently. Corday opened her eyes, rich brown orbs so similar to Padme's own. "I'm sorry, milady," she gasped, struggling for breath with every word. "I'm not sure She paused and lay there, staring at Padme. "I failed you." "No," Padme insisted, arguing the bodyguard's reasoning, arguing against all of this insanity. No. Corday continued to stare at her, or stare past her, it seemed, to the grief-stricken young senator. Looking past her and past everything, Corday's eyes stared into a far different place. Padme felt her relax suddenly, as if her spirit simply left from her corporeal form. "Corday!" the senator cried, and she hugged her friend close, rocking back and forth, denying this awful reality. "Milady, you are still in danger," Typho declared, trying to sound sympathetic, but with a clear sense of urgency in his voice. Padme lifted her head from the side of Corday's face, and took a deep and steadying breath. Looking upon her dear friend, remembering all at once the many times they had spent together, she gently lowered Corday to the ground. "I shouldn't have come back," she said, as she stood up beside the wary Typho, tears streaking down her cheeks. Captain Typho came up out of his ready stance long enough to lock stairs with his senator. "This vote is very important," he reminded her, his tone uncompromising, the voice of a man sworn to duty above all else. So much like his uncle. "You did your duty, Senator, and Corday did hers. Now come." He started away, grabbing Padme's arm, but she shrugged off his grasp and stood there, staring down at her lost friend. "Senator Amidala, please." Padme looked over at the man. "Would you so diminish Corday's death as to stand here and risk your own life?" Typho bluntly stated. "What good will her sacrifice be if—" "Enough, Captain," Padme interrupted. Typho motioned for Dolphy to run a defensive perimeter behind them. Then he led the stricken Padme away. Back over at Padme